Multiplying complex numbers. In this particular topic, I'm going to provide two examples for you. The first example, well, before we start this example, we want to make sure that we remember that anytime we have, well, it helps if it were right. There we go. I times I, that's I squared, and of course I squared is -1. So we kind of want to remember this rule as we get started. So now that we've got that rule down, now we can go ahead and start. We've got a -5i being multiplied to -1 plus 4i. So we're going to use our distributive property and we're going to multiply. So -5i times -1 is 5i. Okay, remember we're treating the I as if it's an X or a Y, with the exception, of course, of our rule that we have up here. And then next we've got -5i times 4i. Well, -5 times 4 is -20. And I times I is I squared. Now this is where our rule comes in. Our rule says that if we have an I squared, which we have one right here, this becomes a -1. So I'm going to put parentheses -1 down here, and I'm going to bring everything else down. And so in order to clean this up, we've got to do -20 times -1, which gets us a positive 20. And of course I'm bringing down the 5i. Now of course this technically is the answer. However, we want to put it in standard form. And standard form says that we have the actual number first and then our imaginary number second, or our complex number. So we're going to reorder this, and so the first thing will come is the 20, and then we're going to put plus 5i. And this will be the answer that you enter into ALEKS. So this is one example that you will see. Another example you'll have is when you have two, of course, binomials being multiplied together. And so let's say we've got 4 minus 5i times 6 minus 2i. And of course, we remember back from week 3, we used FOIL, and so we're going to use FOIL again. So 4 times 6 is 24. 4 times -2i is -8i. And then I'm going to kind of switch colors so that way we can see where we're at. So we've got -5i times 6. Well, that's -30i. And -5i times a -2i, well, that gets us a positive 10i squared. Now, of course, we need to clean this up. There's lots of things we can combine and change. So the first thing I'm going to combine is our i's in the middle. We've got a -8i and a -30i, which gives me a -38i. I'm going to bring down the 24 for right now. And of course over here you see that we've got our I squared, which becomes a -1. And of course that's being multiplied to the 10. I wrote 18, I don't know. I'm getting happy with my writing apparently. And so we've got 10 times a -1 gets us a -10. I'm bringing everything down. And now, of course, we still have like terms. We've got our 24 and our -10. So 24 minus 10 gets us 14 minus 38i. Remember, your single number needs to be in the front, and the number that has your imaginary number, your complex number, needs to be the second number entered into ALEKS. And again, remember that you use the I in the toolbar as you're entering this in.